The refiner's touch. He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. Malachi 3:3. There was a group of women in a Bible study on the book of Malachi. As they were studying chapter 3, they came across verse 3, which says, "He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver." This verse puzzled the women, and they wondered what this statement meant about the character and nature of God. One of the women offered to find out about the process of refining silver and get back to the group at their next Bible study. That week, the women called up a silversmith and made an appointment to watch him at work. She didn't mention anything about the reason for her interest in silver beyond her curiosity about the process of refining silver. As she watched the silversmith, he held a piece of silver over the fire and let it heat up. He explained that in refining silver, one needed to hold the silver in the middle of the fire where the flames were hottest, so as to burn away all the impurities. The women thought about God holding us in such a hot spot. Then she thought again about the verse, that he sits as a refiner and purifier of silver. She asked the silversmith if it was true that he had to sit there in front of the fire the whole time the silver was being refined. The man answered that yes, he not only had to sit there holding the silver, but he had to keep his eyes on the silver the entire time it was in the fire. For if the silver was left even a moment too long in the flames, it would be destroyed. The woman was silent for a moment. Then she asked the silversmith, "How do you know when the silver is fully refined?" He smiled at her and answered, "Oh, that's the easy part, when I see my image reflected in it." If today you are feeling the heat of the fire, remember that God has his eye on you and will keep his hand on you and watch over you until he sees his image in you. Author unknown. Note from Kay. I verified that the information in this story was true. I contacted a silversmith at silversmithing.com and asked if there were any untruths in the silversmithing parts. I received the following response from Fred Zwig. I am familiar with the verse from Malachi. The similarities of actual refining and the chapter and verse from the Bible are accurate. It is important not to overheat the silver when refined in this process, and clean, molten silver will shine with the mirror-like quality when it is ready to pour. The high temperatures do volatilize the impurities and form on the surface as dross. It is important to be attentive to the molten metal, as it does it no good to overheat it. It may not destroy the silver, but silver has an affinity for absorbing oxygen, and this can make it unworkable.